The ladder of complexity. Although it sounds counterintuitive, the bottom-up Patternist approach of explaining all biological phenomena on the way to explaining intelligence is much easier to accomplish than a top-down, human-centric approach that focuses solely on studying human beings. By accepting universality, we now have a starting point for finding a theory that can explain human intelligence and consciousness by first addressing simpler biological phenomena. If we think of all biological phenomena as steps on a ladder, with complex phenomena such as human intelligence and consciousness at the top of the ladder and simpler phenomena such as viruses, protein receptors, and the act of eating, repairing, and reproduction at the bottom, we now have a clear path toward zeroing in on a theory that can explain human intelligence in addition to all other biological phenomena. We start at the bottom of the ladder and craft a theory that explains simpler biological phenomena, which has fewer variables to account for. Once we establish a theory that satisfies our requirements, we can proceed up the ladder, tackling increasing levels of complexity, and further testing our theory as we go. If our theory reaches a dead end, failing to explain a particular biological phenomenon, we can step back, reevaluate, and modify it, knowing we may have overlooked a critical factor. By correcting and refining our theory before moving forward, we can climb the ladder of complexity with increasing confidence in our theory's accuracy. The alternative to this bottom-up Patternist approach, the top-down, human-centric approach, is far more difficult. Starting with human beings and human intelligence leaves us with no way of knowing how far down we must go to identify the necessary components for building a working set of principles. There are too many variables and extraneous factors we have yet to encounter, account for, or explain. We do not know what is important and what is not. Can we find a theory of human intelligence by studying only human behavior and language? What about the environment in which the human body and language exist? What about the human brain? Does the brain exist in isolation? What about neurons and their connections? Don't we need a theory of protein receptors, given that neurons rely on a variety of them, not to mention neurotransmitters? Wouldn't these and their interactions play a crucial role in a theory of human intelligence? Neurons themselves contain genetic material and consume nutrients. And what about the mitochondria within neurons? Given that mitochondria have their own set of genes, is this not important? The complexity of the top-down approach increases, leaving us in a quagmire with no clear path forward and no way to know if we're even on the right track. The top-down, human-centric approach proves to be far more challenging than the bottom-up Patternist approach, so we must climb the ladder. To find a complete theory of intelligence, we must start at the very bottom of the ladder of complexity and steadily work our way up. No steps are to be left untouched. No biological phenomena can be ignored. All data points must be connected. Accounting for all biological phenomena is what separates Patternism from all other theories of intelligence and makes it superior. Patternism, the belief that patterns lie at the core of all biological phenomena, will be built on solid ground. We will not stray from reality. We will begin with reproduction, the acts of eating and repairing, at genetics, and protein receptors. We will work our way up to sensory organs, multicellularity, the immune system, and sexual recombination. We will explain how symbols written in ink on paper can make accurate predictions and reflect reality, thus explaining how all forms of representation, language, mathematics, physics, science, and theories operate. We will arrive at engineering, neural networks, language, and even the very act of theory creation itself. We will account for all biological phenomena and all human phenomena, especially those that are well documented, widely observed, and have practical applications. We will steadily climb our way up. Each step we take will follow coherently from the previous, and by the end of this book we will reach human consciousness. But make no mistake, the human-centric approach to intelligence, the belief that a theory of intelligence can be found by studying human beings alone, and the human-centric view of intelligence, the belief that only human beings are intelligent and that consciousness is the same as intelligence, must be completely discarded. Everything on our ladder is the result of an intelligent process. Human consciousness may sit at the top of the ladder, but it is still a product of the intelligent phenomenon.